I hate Justin the tacky-headed, mac-headed Trudeau with every bone in my body, with every fiber of my being. I hate him with everything that I've got inside of me. And if you don't mind me saying so, Jesus hates him too. You got Justin the tacky-headed Mac Daddy right now in Washington, D.C., who is begging Donald Trump and begging Nancy Pelosi to shaft our great country even more. Now, before I go any further, let me just say I can't blame Donald Trump because USMCA, God bless him, he made it in such a way that benefits his country. He's doing what's good for his country. I can't blame Trump. I can't blame that Pelosi if she decides to vote for USMCA. But I do blame Canucks. Whether it's Justin Trudeau or Yankee Canucks, who I probably hate even more than Trudeau these days. Now, let me tell you what a Yankee Canuck is. A Yankee Canuck is a conservative Canadian who hates Canada and who likes to see America benefit at the expense of his own country. No, anything to get Canada looking bad or Canada getting a bad deal and America getting a good deal, he's going to support it. Why? Because Trudeau's prime minister and Trump is president. Now, I hate Trudeau with every fiber of my being, but I'm not going to shortchange our country just because we have a bad leader and the leader in America is better. That's a Yankee Canuck. I hate you guys even more. They should round up. I hate you guys. I wish I could spit in you. I hate them. They should be rounded up, beaten up, and thrown over Niagara Falls and have their dead corpses float over to the American side where they belong because they want to hurt our country at the expense of Canada. People like the Conservatives, they're probably going to vote for USMCA in the House of Commons. Probably. Andrew Scheer and all of them, because they don't care about Canada. Anything for a buck. Maxime Bernier probably likes USMCA. He's been talking about supply management needs to end. We need to destroy the Canadian dairy people. Bring in Yankees to determine whether or not we drink milk. It's a shame. And there's nobody in Canada who cares about Canadians in leadership. Nobody. Now, this is why I don't like USMCA. First of all, any trade deal where a business in my country feels that it would be cheaper for them to do business in another country, I don't want that trade deal. If there is a country, whether it's America or Mexico, where it's cheaper to do business there or instead of in Canada, I don't want to do a deal with them. I don't want to do a deal. And you know why it's cheaper? Because I've always said we need to get rid of corporate tax, and instead of the businesses giving money to the government, they need to give it to their people in the form of bigger minimum wages, bigger benefits, all that other stuff, and get rid of the business taxes. But usually it's because of how we treat our workers in this country. Canada, out of all the three countries, treats its workers the best. Mexico treats them the worst. I mean, a worker in Mexico is pretty much a slave. Then it's America, then Canada is the best place to be a worker, until NAFTA at least. I mean, before NAFTA, you could be a laborer in Canada. You could work at GM pumping tires, and you could live in a beautiful house, have beautiful children with a nice, beautiful, gorgeous wife. You could go to have a cottage. You could go on vacation. You could own 2-3 vehicles and live happily ever after. It's not so much like that anymore because of NAFTA. Brian Mulroney, he was another genius who created a trade deal which made it cheaper for companies to leave our country to go to another country. Now, our trade deals, so this is how I would negotiate a trade deal. I would look Trump in his orange face, and I like Trump. I'm just being joking here. I'd look him in his orange face. It's an orange face, right? So can we agree? It's an orange face. He's a spray tan face, and I'd say, hey, Mr. Trump, listen here. I'm not making a deal with America under any circumstances if it's going to be cheaper for businesses to move to America. You need to have the same minimum wage we do. You need to have the same environmental regulations we do. You need to give the benefits of worker. You need to give the same benefits to your workers as we do. And if you don't do that, there's no trade deal. So a business in Canada has to understand that if they move to America, they're going to pay the same amount as if they pay in Canada. Or if they move to Mexico, they're going to pay the same amount as if they were in Canada. That's then I'll make a trade deal. I'm not going to have any sucking sound going south of the border on my watch, not for a for a pretty penny. But Canadians, whether it's the Yankee Canucks, who are probably going to cuss me out, and I hate you guys, but I hate Yankee Canucks. Yankee Canucks are worse than I don't know. I don't know if they're worse. They're probably on the same par. I think many of them are just stupid. They're just stupid idiots. They don't really know what they're doing to our country. So I can't say that I hate them on the same level as Trudeau and his liberals. Whether it's the Yankee Canucks or the Liberals and Justin Ateki and MacDaddy Trudeau, we have nobody in Canada who has our interests at heart. Nobody. No, even Doug Ford these days is kind of. I don't know what's gotten into Doug these days. I'm going to Ford Fest on Saturday. If I can get a chance, I'll try and talk to him and maybe even schedule an interview with him, a fair, honest, no bias interview. I just want to ask him questions and I want to give him advice on how he can, save money without doing all this nonsense about raising the fee of licenses and all. His brother Rob would not be happy with that. Rob wanted life to be cheaper for people, not more expensive. So because the liberals make mistakes, you're gonna punish the average folk for the mistakes of the liberals. That's not fair. You need to do things like get rid of the Ontario Human Rights Commission, which is a very expensive thing. You need to tell businesses that, hey, you're going to give your workers free health benefits, and only people who don't have jobs can use OHIP. That'll make things a lot cheaper. You're going to tell workers, listen, you're going to pay the tuition of people in college, and then people who don't work then will pay for their college, or we don't pay. You have to make sure you find a job so you can go into college. Do all that stuff. Make things cheaper without having to punish the people. Why are you punishing us for what the liberals and Jezebel Kathleen Wynne did? And most of the Yankee Canucks will actually disagree with everything I said. Those are the kind of people I'm talking about. But it's okay. But right now, Justin Ateki and MacDaddy, I'm after this video, I'm heading back to Canada. I've got a lot to do. I've got a very busy schedule. I actually have to head into work tonight, so I got to head on out now. But I had to make this video because I didn't know the MacDaddy was in D.C. begging Donald Trump and begging Nancy Pelosi to shaft him some more. He reminds me of, y'all ever watch one of those porn videos where the man is, or the woman is being tied up. The woman is tied up or chained up or something, and she's begging the master, please, master, hurt me some more, master. Shaft me some more, master, please. Whip me some more. That's what Justin is doing. Whoop me some more, Trump. Whoop me some more, Pelosi. Let me kiss your foot some more, Donald Trump. That's what he's doing. That is exactly what the MacDaddy is doing right now. And it's making me extremely angry. We have nobody in Canada who cares about us. All of our politicians only care about their wallets, about what's good for people with money in their pockets. And it pisses me off. It pisses me off. And Canadians accept it. Canadians accept it. Canucks accept it. Newfies accept it. Ontarians accept it. Even Albertans are, for the most part, accept it. Just makes me so angry that we don't have any pride in our land. You go to Canada, you don't see flags on people's houses. Nobody cares. It's all about money. So the Conservatives, they're probably actually going to vote for USMCA in Parliament. Andrew Scheer, Maxime Bernier would definitely do it because he wants to end supply management. I've always said you need to mend it, not end it. Because when it comes to farming, we should never, ever, ever, allow foreigners to determine if we eat or not. Never. There always has to be tariffs on our farms and our foods. Our farmers. Because when all what hits the fan, then at least we can determine whether or not we eat or not. At least. Because if we do a trade deal with America or whoever with our farming, and they decide, it's all done, and then by then our farmers are all out of business, they're all gone, and then there's no food. We end up like Zimbabwe. No, no, it's a shame. It really is a shame. Britain, UK, United Kingdom. You guys may be in a position where you're going to have to make a deal with America. Don't do like what we Canucks are doing. Make sure you get a good deal. I know you're not in a very good position, and there's a video what I may make for another time where I will tell you what you can do in the event that you leave Britain with no deal and you have no trading partners. I know what I would do. I know what I would do. I would impose tariffs as well, and all of those tariffs that I collect, I would impose 50% tariffs, and 50% will go in government coffers, and 50% will go to businesses that had to pay tariffs. So then, in a sense, yeah, they would have to pay tariffs, but then they'd be compensated for it. So then Britain would still be protected. And then the others would be like, wow, what is Britain doing? We're not, there it is. So that's what I would do. But I'm against the USMCA. I'm against any trade deal where the other country will have an environment where businesses will be cheaper. Now, people will say, some people say, oh, well, then why don't we make it cheaper for businesses here? I agree with that, but I'm not going to shortchange workers. I'll admit it is expensive to make sure that workers get a good deal. It's expensive, no doubt about it. But I am supporting getting rid of business taxes, all business taxes, small business tax, corporate taxes, all of that. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. And in exchange, businesses will, instead of giving their money to the government, they give it to their workers. And in fact, I think that would even be cheaper for businesses. Much cheaper. It'd be much cheaper. Get rid of property taxes. That would make living more easy. Have empowerment zones economic empowerment zones where unemployment is high, then there's there's no property taxes for them. Those type of things. We can do that if we use our heads. This is the Arana Nation.